Hello, hello. Good to see you all again. There's nobody here yet, just me. I'm just having a party by myself. I have got my coffee mug with my own face on it. Wasn't I cute? So today I want to talk to you guys about expanding your patience. Oh, and if you don't know, I'm Lydia Phillips from Concord Family Counseling. So I know right now you are at home with your kids 24/7. And that can sometimes be a lot. Sometimes it's really good, right? And sometimes you are not your best self. So you might be noticing that your fuse is a little bit shorter than it usually is. So I have 4 tips for you for expanding your patience during this time. So tip number 1, become more aware of your physiological signs and triggers. So when you get angry and you get impatient, what happens to your body, right? So does your face get flushed? Do your fists clench? Do you feel tense? Do you get a lump in your throat? What happens? These are usually signals to you that you need to take a step away or you need to do something. It's a sign that I'm about to burst, right? I'm about to be angry and impulsive with my kid. So we don't want to head into losing our cool so quickly. So first, becoming aware of those signals. So as for your triggers, think about those situations that are a constant source of conflict for you. For some of you, it might be situations where your daughter is sassing you or your son is ignoring you for like the millionth time about putting his laundry away, and you are going to burst, right? You're going to lose your cool. And so bringing awareness to those weak moments and what's going on for you in that moment. There's possibly some belief systems underneath that situation that hold you back from loving your child in that really difficult moment. Now, this is easier said than done, so if you need help discovering those limiting beliefs, then that might be a reason to contact me for a few tune-up sessions. So tip number 1, become more aware of those signs and triggers. Tip number 2, take a timeout and get grounded. So the more that you can become aware of the buttons that you have, you can be better equipped to get yourself out of those unhealthy cycles, right? So in the heat of the moment, when you're wrapped up in a power struggle, right, it's a trap. And so I've seen this so often, and there's no winners in a power struggle between parent and child. So this usually involves taking a step away from the situation so you can think more clearly. So go on a walk, go to your room. There's not many places you can go at this moment, but if you can take a step away, then you can think more clearly. So do whatever works for you so you can take a step away and get grounded. Wait until all of those signs that you're angry, wait until they can calm all the way down, and then you can come back into the situation as a parent that is more grounded. So that's tip number 2, take a time out and get grounded. Tip number 3, this is the hardest one to do. But I'm going to challenge you because I'm shooting for higher here. This is a difficult thing to do. But tip number 3 is look for the message behind the behavior. So let's just say, for example, your kid has to do homework every day, and you want them to do homework every day. They're not in school. You want them to stay connected to their education. Like, it's important. I'm behind you 100%. So you're on it about them because you know it's important. So they start out like doing okay. They're doing their homework, but at some point they're having a fit, right? And you're like, what is happening? They were just fine just a minute ago. So you double down, right? So you have to do your homework because you're probably thinking to yourself, they're trying to get out of doing their homework and they know if they throw a big enough fit, I'm going to let it go. But you're like, no, I'm a smart parent. I'm going to double down. I'm going to make sure that they do their homework because they can't win, right? But then they're melting down more than ever. But you want them to do their homework. You're not going to give up this fight. So if we can get curious, though, this usually involves taking a step away, right? Taking a step away is always a good thing. looking for the message behind the behavior, it's usually an unmet need. They always say like bad behavior is showing an unmet need. And so I have a few guesses, right? I'm outside the situation. I have nothing wrapped up in this, but if I saw this happening, right, as just an observer, I have some guesses. So are they melting down around the same time every day? So this might be just a weaker time during the day. They need a snack. They need to lay down. They need a break. They might be telling you that. Is it around the same subject, right? They might be telling you, I don't feel good about this subject. And it really stresses me out to do the subject. So guess what? I'm having a meltdown. They might be telling you they don't feel like they can do it, that they feel overwhelmed, they feel inadequate, they feel alone, and they want to be comforted by you. And it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like, Mom, I want to be comforted by you. It actually looks like, Wah! And so you have to be curious and be a detective about what is going on behind the behavior. And here's another trap, right? You might be thinking to yourself, my teenager should be able to articulate what they need to me. I meet adults who can't tell me what they need and what they want. And so you don't need to always expect that from your teenagers, even though you're like, they should be able to do that easily. Why are they acting like a child? Be patient, looking for the message behind that behavior. So take it for what it is, walk away, be present for what is there. So that's tip number 3, looking for the message behind the behavior. Tip number 4, remind yourself why. Why do you want to expand your patience? So I would encourage you to think about when you held your child for the first time. And even when you were, for you moms, growing that baby inside of your tummy, and think about all those hopes and dreams that you had for your relationship with your son or daughter. Reignite that love that you have for them. Because in moments of difficulty, it is easy to lose sight of your love that you have for them. So couple this with a timeout, right? Give yourself a little timeout, remind yourself, is going to be an effective way to expand your patience. Also, I would encourage you to take a look at your parenting style. Is it working? Is it working for all your children? Is it working for all your children all the time? I'm going to guess that sometimes you're not going to be able to be the best parent in every moment. Like, that's okay. But I would encourage you to look for those moments of growth and using that love that you have for your kid and reminding yourself of why you're doing it. Why am I on this constant wheel trying to get a better relationship with my kid? So you can make conscious decisions about your parenting instead of just acting out of impulse or hurt or fear. So those are the 4 tips. So becoming aware of your physiological signs and triggers, take a time out and get grounded, look for the message behind the behavior, and remind yourself of why you want to be patient. So my final message, right? This is going to sound a little bit confusing, but stay with me. So on one hand, own it. You lose your cool, you act impulsively, you didn't notice something. Own it. Either with your kid and coming back to them and saying, hey, listen, I'm sorry, I really lost my cool in that moment, and being able to repair, or just saying, you know what, this is a place that I want to grow in. Knowing those times that, it's not your best, that you're a little weaker in those moments. So on one hand, own it, right? On the other hand, give yourself so much grace. You are doing okay. If you are present, if your child is not on fire right now, if they're alive and fed, and you care about them, you're winning. So give yourself some grace, because especially in times like this, you probably aren't going to be the best parent you could possibly be. Do your best, and that is okay. So if you see anything in this video, yep, you see my engagement ring? Thanks. That's my grandma. Um, So, if there's anything in this video that you connect with, or if you have any questions, send me a message. I would love to hear from you. And just a reminder that if you have any family, friends or family, or if you are struggling financially during this time and any of your children are having a really tough time, please send me a message. I would like to open up some spots for families that are experiencing financial stress and also families that are in the healthcare industry. And so if you have anybody in mind that you feel like could really use some help during this time or could just use a tune-up, I'd be happy to work with them. So till next time, I'm Lydia Phillips with Concord Family Counseling. Good luck out there, and I hope it goes well with expanding your patience. Bye.